Hello and welcome to another camera review. Today we're looking at Nikon's latest lens. It is the 70-300mm f 4.5 to 5.6. It is a new lens for the full frame camera. Now Nikon had prior to this other lenses that were in the market selling around between $350 to $400 range for their DX lenses, which is the crop sensor frames. And this is the new lineup of lenses that are coming up. And these are the lenses that Nikon is producing into the market so that they can be used on full frame cameras. Now, this lens, what is beautiful about it is the prior versions, the DX versions, were up to f6.3. This is a 5.6. It has the VR function. Now the DX version of this lens costs $400. This one is coming out at about $696. That's $700. It is a relatively steep price, but if you look at the numbers between 70 to 300, it has an incredible amount of versatility. You can use it all day for filming or shooting in well-lit places. So it is for that reason a very good lens. Now, apart from that, it has the VR function, which is a vibration reduction. It does produce 4.5 stops of compensation, and that is very, very important. So if you are photographing in low light situations, you can dial down your shutter speed quite considerably and still get sharp images. And that is one of the ways that this lens makes up for its slowness. And that is something that I think is very important, because a lot of companies, they produce lenses, they try to make them fast, but they become heavy. This one weighs about 690 grams. It has a rather complex design. If you look at the lens elements, it has 18 elements in 14 groups. That is quite a number of elements because it makes it a complex lens. What is beautiful about it is it has a rather beautiful design that reduces some of the chromatic aberration and reduces some of the distortion. But yet again, this is an entry-level lens. It is very cheap. It's supposed to do all kinds of purposes, and it could be used for multiple purposes. For example, wedding photography and other things. To those who have started in the business and want to make money and want a fast return on their investment, $700 is not all that much, considering that the other lenses, the 70-200 or other lenses, costing a lot more than this. So it is a full frame lens, and you can use it for pretty much anything. If you put onto for example a DX format sensor, you are going to get a 105, which is a wonderful number if you consider that this lens was designed originally in terms of its construction for a DX sensor. So you had a 105 to 405. Now we are having something that is equally versatile for DX cameras and as well as the full frame cameras. And I kind of like that. One of the things that has been kept in check with this is that it has one extra low dispersion element. It has super integrated coating, and it has a magnetic diaphragm. And that means that the accuracy and the shutter speed is going to work beautifully. The mechanics are there, but the autofocus system, as we see it, is not comparable to the higher end lenses. This is not a silent wave motor or SWM, so it is not going to be as fast as the top of the line lenses. But this lens is an entry level lens that can deliver quite a good performance. And if you look at the lens, it is relatively light, 690 grams, and you're getting all that focal length, and that is something I really like. Now, one of the drawbacks I find with this lens is that it only focuses to 1.2 meters, which is about 4 feet. What that means is if you are using this lens, for example, and you want to get really close-up shots, you're not going to be able to. But what is beautiful is the 70-300mm lens, so you could step back and use it for multiple reasons and multiple ways. I personally would have wanted to have something about 80 centimeters to give more flexibility in using it, because there will be at times when you want to get really close up portraiture, and that would have been something that I would have wanted to see. But beyond that, I like the fact that it has 9 aperture blades, which makes the bokeh to be nice and roundish, and it goes with the other lineup of lenses that are in the FX series. So it is an investment in terms of a lens that can perform quite well. Now, the problem with this lens, of course, is that it's slow, and having a relatively slow lens has its drawbacks. You are not going to capture a lot of beautiful images in low light, because that means is that you're going to sacrifice some of the bokeh, you're going to sacrifice some of the low light capabilities. But the fact that this is a long focal length, it gives you that back bokeh, which is something that I kind of like. But it's not going to be as beautiful as, for example, if you are shooting at f2.8 or f2. So that is something to be considered. But if you are a professional or you are beginning in the business and you want to own a lens that can perhaps provide you with multiple options, this is a lens. Especially for daytime photography, it is wonderful, because you're probably going to dial your aperture down to f4 or f5.6 when you're photographing outdoors, unless you're using an ND filter or some sort of thing that helps you to capture images in wider apertures. So this is an option, and personally I think that if you own a good camera that has the capability to resolve the capabilities of this lens, you're gonna get pretty good photographs. Beyond that, I think that this lens, being a lightweight, is the kind of lens that you can take in multiple options. For example, if you're traveling, the 690 gram lens is about as heavy as, for example, some of the prime lenses from other companies like the Zeiss. So this lens, being what it is going to be able to provide you with all kinds of options. So you can focus on long distances, you can do some candid photography, you can do photography of architectural spaces. Urban photography is a good option. A lot of the things that people have asked me is, can the lens be used for wildlife photography? I think the wildlife photography requires a lot more than this, because sometimes the lens have to focus really fast. This doesn't have that focus system. It's not going to deliver that sharp focus, but it will be able to allow you to capture some photographs, and those photographs will probably be quite satisfactory for somebody who's starting up in wildlife photography. Other than that, nature photography, as I said, is something that people have been interested in, and this is an entry-line lens. Instead of spending $3,000, $4,000, or $5,000 getting a lens that will perform in less than ideal situations or has vibration reduction, this is a lens that's an option. Beyond that, you could put on a DX body, and it's going to give you 105 minimum focal length. That means that you can use a variety of options in terms of if you are using, for example, the Nikon D500 camera. So for that reason, I think it's a good lens. I would say that within a month or two, once this lens comes out, we probably will see other companies producing different types of lenses that will compete with this lens lineup. Personally, I think that if you bought it and use it for about a year, you could sell it for about $500, and which is not a bad loss if you spend $700 buying it. And it could serve you for a very long time. The only thing I would say to you is it is made in China. It has a little slow focus, so that is something to consider if you are going to purchase this lens. Beyond that, I think for the price of what it is, Nikon has delivered something that is very reasonable, because if you look at lenses that perform better than this, they always go up to $1,500 or more, and this is one good option. You might notice that the lens has a 67mm thread. That means it's not so big in the front. It's not like the 82 or higher numbers. So you can put a beautiful, for example, ND filter on it. That will help you to capture better images in well lit circumstances where the contrast may be high, especially if there is sun. And that is something that I would kindly recommend anyone who wants to purchase a lens like this to consider purchasing as well, because that filter is going to allow you to use your lens more efficiently in well-lit circumstances, especially, as I said, in high contrast situations. If you're shooting out into the sea where there's going to be a lot of reflection, polarizing filters will be great, and also the clouds will look much better, the landscape will look much better if you are going to do this kind of photography. As for portraiture, again, we want to be able to use this lens as much as possible at 4.5 or 5.6 rather than dialing up to f8 or f11 because of the bokeh. And portraiture is, as you know, something that we photographers love to capture, especially if you're in wedding photography. So this is something to consider. If you have questions about this lens or any other lenses, or if you like to have more reviews done on comparisons, please drop a line on the comment section below. I will provide you with links in the description section below for you to go and purchase this lens if you are interested, and I'll tell you what the best prices are and how you can get them. And as I said, we produce more and more videos every week to bring you the most informative and independent reviews. So stay tuned, subscribe to our channel, and like our video. You can also visit our website at camerareview.ca. And I thank you for watching.